If you own property, you know there are tax benefits. But what if I told you that most sophisticated owners use a powerful strategy to get way more of those benefits way faster? It's called cost segregation, and in the next few minutes, you're going to understand exactly how it works.
Seriously, think about that for a second. If you own a rental property or a commercial building, what if that very same building could generate huge tax savings for you this year instead of decades from now? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
All right, so to really get why this strategy is such a game changer, we first have to talk about the default way things work. We have to understand the standard IRS approach to depreciation, which, let's be honest, is designed to be a very, very slow process.
Okay, so under the normal rules, you have to write off the value of your property over an incredibly long time. For a residential building, you're looking at 27.5 years. And for commercial properties, it's a whopping 39 years. That means your tax benefit just slowly trickles in over decades.
And here's the crucial point. That slow depreciation means your cash is locked up. It's money that you could have in your pocket today, ready to reinvest, upgrade, or just strengthen your finances. It really comes down to the time value of money, right? A dollar today is worth a whole lot more than a dollar 30 years from now. But what if you didn't have to wait all that time? What if there was a way to unlock those savings and get that cash back in your hands much, much faster? Well, there is, and it's a completely established IRS-approved strategy. And here it is. It's called cost segregation. At its core, it's a tax strategy that lets you speed up or accelerate your depreciation deductions. And when you do that, you lower your taxable income right now. Now, this isn't some shady loophole. It's just about applying the existing tax code with a lot more precision.
So how on earth does this actually work? You know, the logic behind it is surprisingly simple. It all comes down to looking at your building in a totally new way.
The whole idea hinges on this one concept. A building is not just one big thing that lasts for 39 years. No way. It's actually a collection of many, many different parts. And all those parts have very different and often much shorter lifespans. Just think about it for a second. The carpet, the light fixtures, the fancy cabinetry you put in the kitchen. None of that stuff is going to last for 39 years, right? And it's the same for things outside, like the parking lot, the sidewalks, even the landscaping. These are all assets that wear out way faster than the building's foundation and steel beams. This is exactly what a cost segregation study does. It comes in and analyzes the property, and it segregates all the costs into different buckets based on their lifespan. So for this $1 million property, you can see that only 70% of it is the actual long-life structure. The other 30%? That's broken out into personal property and land improvements, which can be written off in just 5 or 15 years instead of 39. Okay, the theory is great, but what does this look like in actual dollars and cents? Let's put the two approaches head-to-head and see the real-world impact. So, we've got two identical scenarios. In both cases, we're looking at a $1 million commercial building. The only difference is, one is going to use cost segregation and the other is going to stick to that slow, standard path. All right, so if you stick to the standard 39-year path, your first-year tax savings are just under $9,000. I mean, it's something, but it's not exactly a game changer. Now, look at this. By using cost segregation, the accelerated path, the first-year tax savings on that exact same property jump to over $69,000. That is a massive, massive difference. Yeah, this visual really tells the entire story, doesn't it? You don't even need the exact numbers to see what's happening. The accelerated path doesn't just edge out the standard one, it completely dwarfs it. We're talking about a night and day difference in cash savings in year one. So let's break it down. Without cost seg, you get about $25,000 in depreciation. But with it, that number skyrockets to almost $200,000. Why? Because all those reclassified assets are now eligible for things like bonus depreciation, which lets you write off a huge chunk immediately. And the bottom line is right there in that last column, a cash flow boost of over $60,000 in year one. So let's boil this all down. What's the ultimate takeaway here? Well, it all comes down to what that immediate boost in cash flow can do for you and your investments. Here are the key benefits, plain and simple.
First, you get immediate, substantial tax savings. Second, that directly translates into more cash flow in your pocket, cash you can use to reinvest, renovate, or acquire another property. And third, a lot of these reclassified parts qualify for bonus depreciation, which just turbocharges your savings even more.
So, who should be looking into this? It's a really powerful tool for all kinds of people. Real estate investors, developers, franchise owners, really any business that has bought, built, or even just renovated a building. Look, if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. Cost segregation is all about front-loading your deductions. It's about taking the tax benefits you're always going to get anyway and pulling them forward to today, when that money is most valuable. It gives you a huge cash flow advantage right when you need it most.
So I'll leave you with a question to think about for your own properties. A building isn't just brick and mortar. It's a bundle of different assets. The real question is, how much cash flow is just sitting there, hiding inside your walls, waiting for you to unlock it?